Blackburn
Enterprises.
Thank you for coming to our channel. You could have been anywhere else, but you're here with me. Back with a new recap video. I'm JB.
I'm Ken.
And today we're going to be recapping
Harlem, Season 2, episode... Is this episode 5? Yeah, 5 and 6.
Yes.
Okay, 5 and 6.
Harlem,
okay.
Season 2, episode 5 and 6.
It seems like it's flying. That's what I was just about to say.
Yes,
when
yeah.
I said 5 already?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Is that right?
I guess it gotta be.
Yeah, I guess so. All right, so we start with this episode. It picks up, obviously, from the previous episode where we are at Quinn's parents'. Is it
I think it's like a anniversary celebration.
Dinner, something like that. And Quinn is not there.
No, she's not.
And everybody's trying to figure out where she is.
Where
Her
are you,
mom
Quinn?
pops up, which is annoying, but she pops up and try to figure out where she is, and she's. Real quick, so what do you think about Quinn's mom? Like, she just not only, and that'd be interesting if like Quinn's mom was just like that towards Quinn, but she's not. She's like that to everybody. Like she sits there and she gets smart with Camille and Ty.
Yeah, tell me what Ty got on.
So what do you think about Jasmine Guy and the character she plays of Patricia?
She is a trip. But it be people like that in real life that always got something to say. There's never satisfied. There's always got to throw shots, and she is that woman.
Right.
You'd be like, oh my gosh, here she come again.
Right. So yeah. So she's definitely dealing with. I would say, if I'm, I don't know how to identify everything, but I would think she's dealing with depression, and she's
talking about Quinn is dealing with
definitely
depression, not
Quinn.
her mom.
Yeah, not her mom, but Quinn. Yeah. Well, I was talking about Quinn's mom. So because Quinn didn't show up, everybody's trying to figure out what Quinn is.
Right.
And so I would think she's dealing with depression now. You know what I'm saying, from the whole Vogue debacle, and she's trying to deal with it in the Quinn way. You know what I'm saying? And so she, I guess the next day or maybe later that day, she figures out, or she wants to celebrate Pride, so she's gonna celebrate it in a Quinn way. She's gonna go above and beyond, and go all the way in. So what do you think about Quinn doing that?
It was like she threw up the rainbow. It was almost like she regurgitated the rainbow.
She did.
Oh, it was way too much, but she's over the top, and like you said, that's how she rolls. But I don't know. It's so funny how she tried to pop herself out of it. Mm-hmm. That was interesting. Yeah,
so she tries to handle stuff in her own way.
Yeah,
and,
she does.
Maybe that's a common theme, because Camille's trying to do the same thing and handling stuff her own way, because when she runs into Jameson by happenstance, she doesn't know how to handle it. She decides that she's not going to tell Ian about the situation. So first off, do you think she should have told Ian that she ran into Jameson?
Absolutely, especially when it came to some business stuff. Like, if it's innocent, why are you not telling him? It's your new boo, and that's your recent ex. So
here's the thing, though. Like, I think all of this is in one day. So the minute she runs into Jameson,
I didn't say the minute.
I'm saying, but stuff had happened, because remember, they went out to eat. Yeah. Or they were supposed to be all celebrating. You know what I'm saying? They was celebrating Pride or whatever, and then Camille got a call, and she had to go holler at Dr. Pruitt, because she needed help with that situation, and so she didn't even have time to, she had to run, get her stuff together, whatever. That's how she ended up leaving her phone. So she was running the whole time. So when,
she could have been like, man, I gotta tell you something crazy.
But she didn't have a phone.
Before, she had her phone when they was at the restaurant. Before she had to go to Dr. Pruitt's house.
But it seems like you're saying that she's supposed to tell him as soon.
She could have been like, hey, guess who I ran into today?
But she was still processing everything. I just feel like that, in my personal opinion, that was a lot really soon. I mean, of course, I guess you would want to communicate it, but having to communicate everything, and it was all kind of how everything happened, having to communicate everything right then and there, because before she even had the chance to communicate, he came home, he seen the phone, he got in her phone, which I don't like that.
He didn't get in her phone, dude text her, and so her phone was already just, it dinged and it was up. It wasn't like he went and was like, oh, let me put the code in. He went into the phone.
He didn't
go in it. He just
y'all comment down below. Did he go into her phone or not? Like, that's like you trying to.
If your phone laying there and it dings and you're like, okay, that's different than going in it and looking for something. That was not what he did.
Number one, you're splitting hairs. Number two, you don't want to. I feel like you, as well as Ian, don't want to take accountability for quote unquote going through her phone. at the end of the day, that's what you did. You went through her phone. Would you, if you didn't look at her phone, would you have known the information? No, you would have not. What'd you do? You looked at her phone. You made the decision to do it.
I think it's a different thing looking at it and going through it. I feel like that's a different thing.
Same difference.
Interesting.
Same difference. If it went out and you looked at it, then you made the choice to look at her phone.
Oh, okay.
Anywho, also people that were struggling to go through things, and that's Ty. Ty's still trying to figure out how she's going to deal with this whole giving up half half of her business, and she really doesn't want to do that, but I think she's not going to play ball because her lawyer has pretty much indicated that if you try to play ball, you might end up losing more.
Yeah.
And so she doesn't want to do that, but she comes up with a plan that she feels like she's just going to sell
a company so he can't get it.
Well, no, not sell it. She was just going to run it into the ground pretty much.
Oh, I thought she was going to sell it.
Yeah, like she was going to run into the ground and basically and then just start something else, and that he can't get any money from.
He wasn't with her.
Right, he can't get any money from something that's not worth anything. So what do you think about her idea or thoughts to try to run the company into the ground?
Yeah, that's a hard situation. That's a hard decision to try to make, but I guess there's not that many like dating sites that's black owned, so
no, let alone black owned and queer owned.
Yeah, so that was not a good idea from the jump. But I understand what she's saying. Like she's just trying to get rid of it so that he can profit off of it.
Right, and
she was over it at that point, so that's where she was.
Right, and she ends up changing her mind. And I think one of the reasons, like she ran into Rachel True's character, which again that I love that she's on there. And she kind of just gives her, the brighter, like she keeps uplifting her and giving her the brighter side, just having that positive outlook attitude on things. And then she runs into a couple, they end up telling their story
about how they met on her site.
Right, and so when she sees that, she's just like, man, I definitely can't, close it now. So what do you think about?
I like how the show did it, where they put up like dating 9 months, dating a year and a half, and this is all from her app. So that was a good highlight that they did to show that it is working and people are thriving from what you've created.
Right.
That's always good to know.
That is always good. And speaking of thriving, Angie is thriving in her new role at Hallmark, where she's actually acting and doing, stepping into what she's been trying to do for the longest. But while doing that, she also is waiting on her new man to call. And she's also stressing. So what do you think about her stressing the whole fact of, him calling?
She's super excited about this guy. And people be like that. She was ready to go into like a phone. I think I've been there where I wanted to go into like a AT&T or whatever to charge my phone. My phone was about to die. We all might have been there before. And that was hilarious. So he did end up calling, and that made her feel great. So
yeah, it did. But one of the funniest parts, I guess, which was happening with her character, is she was running, and as she was running, somebody else was seeing her started running.
Yeah,
and that's just
the thing we're gonna do. That's a cultural thing.
And that was definitely for the culture, because one thing is, when black people see other black people run,
everybody's gonna run.
They know what it is. Don't know communication need to be had. You just I see you run, I'm gonna run.
Yeah.
So I thought that was super funny. That they had that in there.
Yeah.
All right, so that's episode 5. So going into episode 6, and because Ian went through Camille's phone, he's seen the whole situation.
He was trying to meet up with Jameson. Was trying to meet up with her.
Yes,
he was like, "Wait a minute, where's she at anyway?"
Right, because Jameson has got this grant, and and he wants to continue to work together. And Ian, decides to take matters into his own hand, and they sit there and they talk, and it looks like they have a grown man conversation.
They do. I like that part. I really like that they showed 2 black men getting together, like loving the same person, but coming to a common ground. That was great.
They pretty much squashed that. You know what I'm saying? It was a little awkward, but again, that was on some grown man stuff. So, like I said, that was interesting to see. And speaking of being on your grown man stuff, Camille pretty much had to be on her grown woman stuff and go to her mother's to get some information, to get a birth certificate, Social Security, and all that stuff. And one thing that I
more in depth on how her and her mom's relationship is and why it's the way it is. So
right, I absolutely love that, because again, and I always bring this up a lot of times when we do series reviews, and I always point to Insecure and being the authenticity of the show is the thing that made it good. And so I feel like it's following in the footsteps, and definitely is authentic because it shows everybody's relationship with their parents is not perfect, everything's not perfect, and as you can see with this show, and they have a weird type relationship, and you can see it like from the moment she walks in, everything is just kind of awkward, you know what I'm saying, and super stressful. So what do you think about the overall relationship between Camille and her mom?
Yeah, she already had talked about her mom stresses her out anyway when she goes around her, so she kind of keeps her distance from her. Mm-hmm. But we get to see why, and the fact that I don't know. Did you know her dad died when she was younger?
I feel like I didn't.
I didn't remember that part from season 1. Mm-hmm. So the fact that I guess her mom was dealing with her own grief and still trying to raise a daughter, that sheds light on why she's the way she was, and that was very powerful.
Okay, and it's interesting that she's played by I feel like I'm gonna mispronounce her name, but Joey Lee is her name, and I really love seeing her. Like if you don't know who she is, she's been in maybe all of them. When we was talking about it, like I remembered her in some Spike Lee joints, but I think she's been in a lot of them. Like she's probably been in like at least Crooklyn
and School Days, and She's Gotta Have It Too, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think so, and I believe it's another one that we're leaving out, but. I think it was Mo Better Blues.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm picturing a trumpet in my head. I think it is Mo Better Blues. But yeah, I think she's been in like five Spike Lee joints. But yeah, it was interesting. It was good seeing her on film, and just seeing them interact, even though that was a stressful and type of awkward situation. Yeah. But seeing how all that came together.
Yeah. And the fact that she showed her like the important things that she keeps, and that like even though they might have been strange, she still is holding on to her baby and her widow or her husband that passed.
Right, and that's the thing about parents, and just a lot of situations overall. It's just that at the end of the day, and I think sometimes we forget. I think when we have people that we have relationships with, we look at them within that relationship. Your husband is just your husband, or your mom is just your mom, or your granny is just your granny. But at the end of the day, these are all people. They're all people. And people are not perfect, and sometimes we hold them in that light of whatever we envision a mother or a uncle or a something in. And sometimes we have to extend that grace and realize that, people are people.
That's true.
And so, but it was a touching moment to see, for her to show that and be like, that I've had these important things. And like it's so authentic, having old pictures and you taking out your phone and taking a picture of it, because that generation, like I'm pretty sure my mom has a whole drawer of just old pictures. You know what I'm saying? So again, that authenticity is something that I really love about this show.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go ahead and move into, who do I want to move into? Let's gonna move into Ty, because shout out to Ty, because she's a pimp. She's a player, PIMP for sure. And after her party, after the party is an after party, because
everybody was in the bed.
Yeah.
How was at Ty's house?
That's the thing. Not only was it a bunch of, like, she just had a whole bunch of people in there. Like, it's crazy. But shout out to her for that. But she probably needed to alleviate some stress, because the fact that she actually ends up going through the divorce, and he ends up writing her husband, or they end up writing a check for like $1 million.
Yeah.
So what did you think about the fact that she had to write him a check for $1 million?
Ooh, she said, "Don't you even look my way. Don't you even touch, talk, text, nothing to me.
Right.
I don't want to hear your voice at all ever again." And she was hot.
And it's interesting that the I wouldn't call it the arc, but I guess the transition of things that take place between her and her husband. Because at this point, she was like,
too done with him.
Like she was done. She was like, F you.
I don't
like pretty
F
much
with you.
Right. That's pretty much what she was on. And you know, if you look at where that started and then where it ends up, and then and you kind of knew that, but you really couldn't. But we ended up talking about that because I think I asked you a question about her husband and what do you think, and you really couldn't get a finger on what does he want, you know what I'm saying? What is he trying to do? Yeah. And you know, even when the divorce went through $1 million, you could tell he wants to say something because and that's why she was like, I ain't got nothing to say to you. Yeah. But you knew he was trying to say something. And so, you know, the conversation, he ended up talking, and like I came to the idea that I think he just really wanted some type of closure. Like I said, he really, really loved her. She ended up dipsetting on him, and he was left, you know what I'm saying, to stew in that situation or whatever, and just wanted some type of closure about them, about what happened, and about them and what have you. And I think they maybe got some sense of closure, and he ended up being there to administer, I believe it was a side because she's going through the process of freezing her egg. Yeah. So what do you think about, you know, her overall getting to the point where it looks like she has a sense, or they have a sense of closure now?
I think that was important because I don't know if they were friends before they married or whatever, but they needed to shut that door, but also on a good note and not on a bitter note, because she would have never probably got over that, and him neither. So, and he was hurting. He has things going on internally that he hasn't said or it hasn't came out yet. So
exactly. So speaking of having things going on and not speaking about it, that is Quinn, and so if episode 5 we kind of seen it, like episode 6 is like definitely obvious that she's going through
the face. She's sitting in the bathtub with the water running with clothes on.
Right. She's just like she's absolutely going through depression, and she's just kind of just floating through life, and you know, but she's trying, and just nothing is working. And I think she's still the few opportunities she have of people trying to ask what's going on, what the deal is. You know, she kind of skirts it off or whatever, but we actually see visibly for sure like, this is what you're dealing with. So what do you think off that?
I was worried about her too, especially when Angie told her that she was moving out, because when you are dealing with that, like you don't need to be alone. Like somebody has to be there for you, with you, because that you may actually try to harm yourself. And so when she told her that, I was like, man, not right now, Angie. This is not good timing.
Not good timing.
Not good timing. So I was glad that she was able to get it out and tell her friends would tell somebody what was really going on.
Right. And so I did like that, and finally, you know, like she finally opened up, sent the group text, and was like, you know, I was acting like I was alright, but I'm not. I'm kind of messed up right now. And of course, you know, well, not all the girls, because I feel like Camille was
wasn't able to be there. She was with her boy Ian. She was with Ian when they were meeting up.
Right. Yeah, I think she was with you. She was with Ian at the time, and but
Angie
and Ty
was there.
end up running over there, and so I love the show of sisterhood and them being there for her. Yeah. So last but not least, Angie, like we said, she's working on the Hallmark movies, and she's enjoying. Like I said, her luck is changing, and you can see that. Well, before we get into how her luck has changed. Another shout out goes to Countess Vaughn, because, and I believe all this happens in Angie's head, because and I love how they take the opportunity to show things like this, like she's on set, she's trying to get her hair done, and the white hairstylist is there, and
she what to do with it. She's like, I think it's perfect like this. No, ma'am, it is not. What are you talking about?
And I said the funny thing, or not funny thing, is that every actress, you know, on there probably has dealt with that in their career.
Before. I think even Nia Long had talked about that at one point on Unsung or something.
Yeah, you know, and so it's crazy, and you know, and again, just being able to build yourself up, and just the hard place that Black women, and so much that they have to deal with, and have to, you know, just end up doing it themselves, and you know what I'm saying, and persevere through a lot of these situations. So I definitely love and appreciate, you know, how they was able to show that. And like I was saying, going back to her luck changing, you know, that this looks like this guy is, you know, that he's really into her. Like, So what do you think about that?
He done left his birthday party just to come over there to spend, because he said it wasn't a party if she wasn't there.
Right.
So she was like, I'm coming over there to you. And that she loved that. He did the little Romeo Juliet thing where he was outside her window.
Right.
So that was cool.
Right. Right.
You know she dramatic, so she probably was eating that up.
She was, absolutely. And I'm like, I just like this. It goes to another car. Like, I don't know what they're doing. They drag racing outside. Doing. But yeah, I'll touch back on to Camille real quick because I did forget about that Camille and Ian did talk about the whole situation with Jameson and whatnot, and the whole idea of her working with Jameson, and they come to the conclusion that she's still going to work with Jameson. So what do you think quickly about them, I guess kind of talking the whole situation out?
I think that was mature of them. I think that she said that she didn't like that the two men came together and decided for her, though. She didn't like that part.
Right. But she mentioned that.
Yeah, but it was a mature situation, and they got through it. And then she brought up something that he wasn't even talking about. And you done messed yourself up, girl.
Oh, right, because she ended up,
talking about her egg count or whatever, and that is not what he was talking about.
Right, so it was miscommunication there, but at that need, she needed to share that as well. And then the whole idea that Camille learned earlier when she was with her mom, that she kind of got the whole avoiding hard conversations from her mom.
Yeah. And also, I think this is going to cause her and Ian to have, they might have to go to counseling or something because there's a disconnect going on. He wants her to lean on him and not just go through things, and then their communication is not what it needs to be right now. So.
Right. And not only they're going to have to go to counseling about that, they're going to have to go to counseling about her sleeping with Jameson, because at the end of this episode, it looked like they was just going to be working. I mean, there definitely was some working going on. So it'd be interesting to see what's going to happen in these next few episodes. That's going to take place between her continuing to work with Jameson, and where is that going to leave her with Ian? What's going to go on with Angie? I believe is her good luck going to continue to last? Where is Ty going to go? And is she going to continue to build on her empire that she's slowly building? And
he tore up the check too, so we knew it wasn't about the money.
Right, and Quinn, is she gonna be able to bounce back and get over this depression? You know what I'm saying? Once they decide to have a girls trip.
Absolutely.
All right, so if you want to do us a favor, hit that thumbs up button. We'd definitely appreciate it, and it helps out the channel. And if you haven't hit the subscribe button yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We definitely appreciate it, and you can see more videos like this one. And if you want to go do us another favor, you want to go ahead and hit that button that shake like a bell. If you want to do that, you can get a notification
every time we drop a new video.
And if you want to go ahead and do us one more favor, you want to go ahead and comment down below. And what should they comment?
What are some healthy and cost-efficient ways to deal with depression and mental health?
Good question.
That's one of the things. People don't go to counseling and things like that because it's expensive, and all insurances don't cover it. So we need to get the people some help.
So healthy and cheap,
cost efficient.
Okay, healthy and cost efficient way to deal with depression.
Yes.
All right, we appreciate every single one of you, and I guess we'll holler at you.
Peace.